Hello, everybody. Monovore here, and welcome to another episode of Stand Up Podcast. Today, I'm only joined by one guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, it is Bloom.
Yeah, it's at Together We Bloom on the Cardfight Vanguard Amino, a newbie to the game, but somebody who is a big fan of the Bermuda Triangle clans. So I felt like he'd be perfect to talk about them today. We're talking about the Chouchou archetype, which will be coming in G Trial Deck 14, Debut of the Divas. Or G Trial Deck 13 over here, because there was like one we didn't get. I believe it was the Daigo one. Yeah, I think it's the Daigo G Trial Deck we didn't get.
Yeah.
So today we're just gonna be talking for a bit about what each of these cards does. So let's start with Chouchou Flora, why don't we?
So it seems that Chouchou is going to be your starting Vanguard for this trial deck.
Well, no, they're all Chouchou, right? You gotta be more specific.
They're all Chouchou, but Chouchou Flora.
Yeah, Chouchou Flora actually is. Actually, this isn't the starter that's coming in the trial deck. This is the one that's actually coming in the clan booster.
Okay.
Because if you'll remember, I told you there is a trial deck and a clan booster releasing on the same day for Bermudas. Because as I've informed you before, it is a tradition now that every summer we get some Bermuda support. And we get basically all of the Bermuda support we're going to get for the entire year outside of the Fighters collection.
Oh yeah, you did tell me that. It's been a while.
So I mean, of course, it's got Forerunner, so it's meant to be used as a starter.
Yeah.
GB1, put this unit in your soul. When your other rearguard is put into the deck, you may pay the cost, and if you do, choose 2 cards with Chouchou in their card name from your hand and call them. And they have to be in the same column. So Chouchou's whole deviation from the main Bermuda Triangle gimmick of returning to the hand is that they return some things to the bottom of the deck.
That's very interesting, actually.
And usually whenever you bounce, and usually like there's a bunch of card effects that go off when you return something to the bottom of the deck. And
the
thing is, it's not like, oh yeah, return this to the bottom of the deck because you did this. It's like return them as the cost, and then some other abilities pop off, and that's how you really get your advantage. But there is still another choice for starter in this deck. Chouchou Sasha. Let's take a look. This is the one that's going to be the trial deck.
Okay, Generation Break 1. Return this unit to your hand. When your other rearguard with Chouchou in its card name is put to your deck, you may pay the cost, and if you do, draw a card.
And the cost is just Counterblast 1 and return it to your hand, which means you can pretty much loop this thing all you want, as long as you continue to countercharge, which this deck has a built-in countercharge engine. This is not going to be too hard. So the thing is, the one from the clan booster is more offense-based. This one is more defense-based. Pick your poison, really.
Yeah, whichever one suits you best.
Now that we're done with the grade zeros, let's talk about Chouchou Akina.
Alright, let's see. When your other rearguard is put into your deck during your turn, this unit gets plus 3,000 power until end of turn.
Yeah, that's pretty basic. But I dig. Now the interesting thing about Chouchou is that, also this one is in neither the trial deck nor the character booster. It's actually a monthly Bushiroad promo. Okay, good luck everybody. Good thing this is such a basic card that you probably wouldn't run in the final deck, because it being a monthly Bushiroad would make it a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it will be pretty tedious to try to find.
For the uninformed, it's basically like a Shonen Jump promo, except this time it's for Vanguard. Chouchou Clenis.
Let's see.
Chouchou Clenis. When this unit is placed on the rearguard circle from the hand, you look at the top 7 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 card with Tirua in the name. Tirua is the main grade 3 of the trial deck, by the way. And you put it in your hand. If you put a card into your hand, you choose 1 or more cards from your hand with the sum of their grades being 3 or greater, and you discard them. Now, this skill should look very, very familiar to anyone who plays Shadow Paladins or has ever played against Shadow Paladins in recent years. That's right, Chouchou Clenez is literally Abyssal Owl, but for Chouchou. And Bloom, you might not know about Abyssal Owl because I have actually yet to see you encounter a Shadow Paladin player. But basically, how that works is on place. You view the top 7, search for a Dragheart Luard, add it to your hand, and then you pay this exact same cost of discarding for grade up to 3. And then, also like Abyssal Owl, this card has a countercharging ability. Because you see, both of these decks are decks that eat up a lot of Counterblast very quickly. So it is important to, 1, get your grade 3, 2, countercharge. So these cards will be essential. And I don't know if the trial deck is coming with 2 or 4 of this, but I can check right now. Let's see here. I have the trial deck page up now. Chouchou Clenez. There are 4 copies. Good.
That's very good. So you're set.
So when you buy 2 of the trial deck, you'll have 8 of these, which is good trade fodder. But yeah, I never actually talked about this countercharging ability. It's Soul Blast 1 and put it on the bottom of your deck. At the end of your turn, if you have a Tarua Vanguard, you can countercharge 1. And the thing about this is that it's something that puts it on the bottom of the deck at the end of your turn. So it triggers that second starter we talked about, bouncing it to your hand and letting you draw a card, which puts at least 15k more shield into your hand.
Yes. It's always good to have shield on hand.
Chouchou Malay. Generation Break 1. It's only got 1 skill, but Generation Break 1. At the end of a battle that this unit boosted a Vanguard, you may pay the cost, which is Counterblast 1, and choose a Chouchou Rearguard and put it on the bottom of the deck. And if you do, you draw a card. You choose up to 1 card from your hand and call it. So it draws you a card.
A lot of these effects are from they let you draw cards.
Yeah. This deck is going to do a lot of drawing. It has a really good draw engine already. And then the fact that theoretically you could just play this with draw triggers. This might make 4 or even 8 draw Bermuda a thing.
It might.
We're kind of seeing a resurgence in draw triggers in decks like Tachikaze. It could occur to Bermuda Triangle as well. Or, they could just be as aggressive as ever and go 12 crit, call it a day.
Yeah.
Chouchou Malvis. What do you think about this one, Bryce?
Well, when this card is placed on Rearguard circle during
you got so used to the shorthand on the actual card that you...
During your battle phase, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 4,000 until end of turn. If you have Chouchou Malvis and Chouchou Selvies on Vanguard
no. You should enunciate more. It's Chouchou Melvies. There's another one.
Yeah. Chouchou Melvies and Chouchou Selvies on Vanguard or Rearguard, countercharge 1 and soul charge.
Now, there's something very interesting about the art of those 2 cards.
Mm-hmm.
When you put them both together with Chouchou Malvis, they make one big picture. So it's like a Legion, except they don't actually use the Legion mechanic, and they're across 3 cards instead of just 2. Let's talk about the last grade 1 we have revealed. I believe this one's a perfect guard. Yeah, it is. Chouchou Tino. So yeah, Chouchou Tino is a perfect guard, specifically for the Chouchou deck. Its cost is that you have to discard a Chouchou card from your hand to perfect guard with it, so keep that in mind. But it's one of those PGs that doesn't say when it's placed from hand to the Guardian Circle, just when it's placed to the Guardian Circle. So in case Bermudas ever get some sort of your grade 1s get intercept or a G Guardian that places cards from the deck on the Guardian Circle, In case anything like that ever happens, keep Chochotino in the back of your mind. And she's also one of the perfect guards that is on the rise lately, where they have a skill in the drop zone to return it to the hand. From the drop zone, you counterblast one and choose another Chochotino from the drop zone and put it into the deck. And then you choose, and then when you do that when one of your rear guards is put into the deck during your turn. And if you do, you return Tino to your hand.
That is very useful because most, like, I'd say about 9 times out of 10, perfect guards are always going to be going to the drop zone because you're using them to guard. So giving them a skill in the drop zone is very advantageous.
Yeah, there's plenty of perfect guards like that add themselves back or do other things. I apologize, Bloom. I don't think Neonectar has one of those yet.
Yeah, but that's okay.
But then again, I'm not a Neonectar expert. I could be wrong on that one. Chocho Ayana. Skill is counterblast one and put her on the bottom of the deck as the cost. But when your other rear guard with Chocho in its name is put into your deck, you may pay the cost. And if you do, you draw a card, and you choose up to one card with Chocho in its card name, call it from hand to rear guard, and it gets plus 3,000 power. So the thing is that it appears Chocho is going to be the perfect mix of offense and defense. And the thing is, everybody was freaking out about the dominate ability. I think Chocho might be putting these poor guys to shame.
She probably is.
What are these stealth dragons gonna do against the mermaids, I guess, when they keep leaving and drawing cards? Like, here's the thing. The whole point of Dominate is to rip away like 5k shields from your opponent's hand with little poking attacks. Well, if they keep drawing all these cards, will that matter in the end?
Probably won't, because they're just going to keep getting shields.
Yeah, and the only thing so far that could make Chocho better is if we can confirm that the triggers in the trial deck are also going to all be Chocho cards.
Yes, that would play a big role in it.
Chocho Blanche. So Chocho Blanche, I actually really like this one. It's Soul Blast 1, choose one of your other rear guards with Chocho in the card name and place it on bottom deck. Basically, on place you do that, and you look at the top 4 cards, and reveal a Chocho card. And if it's not, and reveal a Chocho card that is not named Chocho Blanche, and you add it to your hand. Like, Zodiac Time Beast just got a card somewhat like this, where it was Pulsar, what's it called? Pulsar Cruising Dragon, that's what it was called. Pulsar Cruising Dragon is on attack. If you have a Chronojet Vanguard, you view the top 3 and search for any Zodiac Time Beast unit. I feel like this is the closest Bermuda's gonna get, but it's still really good. Not as good because you can't reuse it unless you call another one, but pretty good.
Yes.
Chocho Listella. So, I am so far digging the sheer quality of this deck. How about you?
I am as well. It is very good for a trial deck. Trial decks are usually pretty good already, if you know what to put in them and how to work them, but this seems very good out of the box.
Bushiroad is working harder and harder to improve the quality of trial decks, and I am enjoying it greatly.
I'm quite impressed.
Like, so far, looking at which Chocho cards are actually coming in the trial deck, you could just play this out of the box, and there is a good chance you could win.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't have to add very much to this. I would say minimal.
I would say you still need to buy 2 for your Teruas, and the Stride
Yeah.
and the G Guardian. But other than that, everything you'll need will probably just be in the clan booster that's coming out this year. So there's not very much like digging around through old sets that you need to do, or very much expensive things that you need to do. Because with Chouchou, who's gonna need Olivia?
Probably not many people.
Yeah, so anyway, what was the card we were talking about? Chouchou Listella.
Yes.
Generation Break 1, Soul Blast 1, and choose another Chouchou rearguard and put it on the bottom of the deck. When this unit attacks the Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 2,000 power. So this is clearly a third attacker. Now, it seems like Bermuda Triangle is really trying to go the way of the Aqua Force and get multiple attacks a lot.
They are
And
kind
it's
of
more apparent than ever with the Chouchou cards. So this would be a good second attack where you go, okay, so your first column swings, right?
Yeah.
And then Listella swings, and you have it set up with another one of those Chouchou cards where when your other rearguard is put on the bottom of the deck, you put it on the bottom of the deck and you draw a card and you call a card, and that gets you another column again. And then you can also use, and then I believe you can also use that first starter we talked about, where you just, where then you can just, I believe you push it into the soul, you call 2 cards, and you've just set up for another 2 attacks. Not to mention the Vanguard attack to place triggers on things. Chouchou is going to be a good archetype.
Very good. I would say I'd see a lot of people playing this after this comes out. Or at least people who play Bermuda.
Not to mooch off of you, since I already know you're going to build this deck, but I kind of want to play Chouchou.
I wouldn't mind if you did, because it seems very good out of the box. Like we were saying earlier.
Chouchou Selvies. Now, this one isn't Generation Break restricted. When your other unit is placed on the rearguard circle during your battle phase, you may Soul Blast 1, and if you do, choose one of your other units with Chouchou in its name, and it may get plus 2,000 power until the end of turn. If you have Chouchou Melvies and Chouchou Malvies on the Vanguard circle or rearguard circle, this unit gets plus 4,000 power.
Oh. So it's
So yeah,
both.
this is
So
the
you
second,
can have this on
the second
reserve.
of the V's trio. I don't know what else to call them.
Yeah, just the V's trio. I like that.
Now the only problem I see with this card is look at its power.
Let's see.
It is a grade 2. Now look
It
at
has
that
very
power.
low power for a grade 2. 8,000 is low.
Like, I mean, 8,000 grade 2s aren't the worst thing in the world. I mean, I still run Marcia in my Gurgit deck to this day, just because that's a free countercharge. But it really sucks when you have to ride your 8K grade 2. It really does.
It does. But, I mean, it's getting a power boost with its skill, and it's Soul Blast 1, so I guess that kind of compensates for it.
Let's talk about Chouchou Sugri. Ooh, I'm not too sure how I feel about this one. Counterblast 1 and choose one of your other Chouchou rearguards and put it on the bottom of the deck. When this unit's attack hits a Vanguard, when it hits, you may pay the cost, and if you do, draw a card. Now, the bright side is it has the potential to draw you a card and trigger the rest of your Chouchou unit's skills. The downside is, 1, it's yet another thing you need to countercharge for, and 2, it is on hit price.
I mean, what happens if your opponent decides that they want to guard?
You don't get the skill.
And you have to pay a cost anyway.
Well, no. You don't have to pay the cost anyway. It's when you hit.
Yeah.
When the attack hits, you pay the cost.
But if they guard, you don't get the skill. So
yeah, you don't get to put a thing on the bottom of your deck. You don't get to draw a card. Now, if it's even if it did say counterblast 1, choose a Chouchou rearguard and put it on the bottom of the deck. When this unit attacks it, and then it says when this unit attacks a Vanguard, it gets auto rearguard circle. When this unit's attack hits, draw a card or something.
Okay.
That would actually that would make it situationally better. Maybe not actually better, but situationally better, because I don't know if I've informed you of this yet, but even if a skill cannot be properly resolved, if you meet the conditions to pay its cost in the first place, you can still pay the cost and have the rest of the skill just fizzle out.
Yes, that's true.
For example, Chronofang Tiger G says at the end of a battle that this unit attacked a Vanguard, you may choose one of your rear guard. At the end of a battle that this unit attacked a Vanguard, you may Soul Blast 1, find one of your rear guards, choose a rear guard in the same column as this unit that your opponent controls, and return it to the deck. Chronofang Tiger G is really useful because I can still pay for that without my opponent having any rear guards in the same column. I can just go ahead and Soul Blast 1 and bind one of my rear guards, because the Chronofang deck is a deck that benefits greatly from binding rear guards. However, back to Suguri, she has another skill. Once per turn, GB1. When your other rear guard is put on the bottom of your deck during your turn, choose one of your units, and it gets power plus 4,000. Doesn't have to be yourself, and doesn't have to be another unit. It's just one of your units gets plus 4,000 power.
That actually is very good.
Now that we're all out of grade 2s to talk about, let's talk about the card everybody was waiting for. Now, psych, we're talking about Chouchou Melvies first.
So, Chouchou Melvies.
Okay, so this appears to be our backup grade 2 or grade 3, and oh, ew, Bloom, she's 10k base. Do you know how much harder it makes that makes it to guard on stride turns if you have to ride this thing?
It hurts even more because it's only 1,000 less than 11,000, which is what most grade 3s have.
Because like here's the thing. 10k might not look all that bad, but for example, your opponent attacks you for 20. If you're on an 11k, you just need 10 to guard. If you're on a 10k, you need 15.
Which makes you use even more shield.
Like there's just certain magic numbers your opponent can hit, where if you were on an 11k, okay, no biggie. But since you're on a 10k, yeah. Anyway, it has a skill. Luckily, its skill is Vanguard Circle and Rearguard Circle, so you don't have to ride this thing to get any use out of it. Unlike you, Blade Cross Lion, I love you, but unlike you, Blade Cross Lion. Counterblast 1, choose one of your rearguards with Chouchou and put it on the bottom of the deck. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, you may pay the cost, and if you do, choose up to one grade 1 and one grade 2 Chouchou card from your hand, one grade 1 and one grade 2 Chouchou from your hand. Call them to separate rearguards. And then, if you have a Chouchou Selvies and Chouchou Malvies on rearguard circle, you draw a card. So I can see what this card is supposed to do. I can see exactly what she's supposed to do. She's supposed to, on attack, call Selvies and Malvies to the same column so that they can boost each other, and then you draw a card, and the rest of their skills are live.
So it basically sets off multiple skills.
Yes, it basically sets off. First of all, it sets off everything that goes off when something's returned to the bottom of the deck, and secondly, it sets off Selvies and Malvies.
I see how that's useful.
Okay, now let's talk about the good one. The one that literally is about to put Dragheart Luard to shame. Yeah, remember when Luard was the stuff? Remember when everybody loved the crap out of Luard because it drew like 5 cards in a turn and it could stride without paying the cost? Yeah, remember that? Well, that became Chouchou debut stage Terua. First of all, stride skill. Counterblast 1, and when your G unit strides, you may pay the cost. Reveal the top card of your deck, put it into your hand, and if that card is a Chouchou, choose up to one of your rear guards and put it on the bottom of the deck. If you put a card on the bottom of your deck, draw a card. Dude,
That
is amazing because it is, when you stride, Counterblast 1, draw a card. Put a rear guard back, so put a rear guard you don't want back. Draw a card. It allows you to draw 2 cards by counterblasting 1 and putting a rear guard on the bottom of the deck.
if
And
you get
here's the thing. There will be about 3 cards. There will be about 3 cards max in your deck that aren't Chouchous, and that's just going to be your stride fodders. This thing's going off. And let's talk about that other skill it has, that Generation Break 1 skill.
oh my. During your ride phase, if the number of your rear guards is 1 or less, you may stride without paying the stride cost.
Yeah. So, if you do what Bermudas do best, and you return your rear guards to your hand or the deck, you stride for free. So you know what? You know how I said there's probably 3 cards in your deck that aren't Chouchou? Make that like 2, maybe even none, because who needs stride fodders when you can stride for free?
You don't.
Yeah, yes, I understand Luard decks still ran stride fodders for consistency before they got to the actual requirement for Luard's stride skill. Because the thing about that was it had an actual real requirement, unlike this.
This deck just gets rid of stride fodders.
This deck, that's potentially 3 open slots. However, Bloom, I still recommend going ahead and trying to pick up the Bermuda Triangle stride fodder anyway, just in case.
Yeah, it would be a good idea.
But let's talk about the grade 4s now, because there is a stride and a D Guardian.
All right.
Chouchou Lilienel. And that's our stride. This is the stride that is actually coming in the trial deck.
Okay.
Why don't you tell us what it does?
All right. So, when this unit's attack hits a vanguard, choose up to one of your rear guard and return it to your hand or put it on the bottom of your deck. If you put a unit into your deck, draw 2 cards.
It got spicy. It kicked it up a notch. What are we gonna do, man? What are we gonna do?
I mean,
it is most certainly still a pretty good stride.
yes.
The reason I'm not complaining about it being on hit is because 99.99999 repeating % of trial deck strides are on hit, just because they're the basic thing that you're supposed to be using at first.
Yeah.
But the fact that you can choose one of your guards, return it to the hand, or put it on the bottom of your deck. That part is amazing. And then, if you put it in the deck to trigger your unique Chouchou-based abilities, you draw 2 more cards. This is a little bit wild.
It is very wild. It's...
Now, let's talk about the G Guardian, which is not all that unique. Okay. So,
Palfy.
when this unit is placed on Guardian Circle, if the number of cards in your hand is 3 or more, this unit gets 500 shield until the end of the battle. Now let's stop for a second, and I will show you the exact same card. Yep. This looks like a Chouchou card to me. Sunrise on High, God Hockey Chibiyoshi from the Oracle Think Tank clan. When this unit is placed on the Guardian Circle, if the number of cards in your hand is 3 or more, this unit gets plus 5,000 shield until the end of that battle. They literally could not be asked to make a unique G-Guardian for Chouchou, and instead we're like, yeah, let's make Sunrise on High God Hockey Chibiyoshi again.
But in a different clan.
Let's make a Sunrise
And
on
with a
High
different name.
again and put it in a different clan and see if anybody notices. Guess what, Bushiroad? We noticed. Now, I was not disappointed with like a single thing in here until this, and also the fact that the backup grade 3 is a 10k.
Yeah. That's pretty disappointing as well.
Now, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong at all. It is a good G-Guardian. And I guess it's the kind of simple thing that Bermuda needed. Because the thing is, Bermuda Triangle has very good G-Guardians, but they have a bit too much to do when you guard with them. Sometimes you just need the simple, this unit gets plus 5 shield. Sometimes you just need that.
Yeah.
Now it still says Great Unknown for Chouchou Sarah, but that's just because they've edited the wiki page for Chouchou Sarah, but not the wiki page for the Chouchou archetype. This is actually a critical trigger.
Also, I wonder, why is the only picture of that card in a magazine?
Oh, it's because that's where we got it revealed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you were wondering that when you were on Area, why it looked like it came from a magazine.
Yeah, but it's still the same picture on here. Like,
yeah, it's the same picture because Cardfight Area tends to get their pictures from the wiki.
Oh, okay, I see.
Unless you go in and you like unless you like go in, open the files on Paint or Photoshop, and then like paste over a different picture or whatever, it's going to default to what's it? What are they called? The wiki pictures.
Yes.
So we gonna talk about Chouchou Sarah now or what?
Sure.
It's a critical trigger with a cool skill. On the rearguard circle, GB1. At the end of the battle that your Vanguard with Chouchou and its card name attacked, you may pay the cost, which is Counterblast 1, and put it in the soul. And if you do, you draw a card. Choose up to one card from your hand with Chouchou in the card name, call it to the rearguard circle, and it gets plus 5. So this is our Chouchou variant, pretty much, on Heart Thump Worker / what's the one that you're familiar with? Garden Maiden Milas /
yes.
Yeah, it's our Heart Thump Worker / Milas / Air Raid Lion / I only know the ones for the clans that I play pretty much / Dragon Knight Janite / crap, I forgot what the one for Claret Sword was. Whatever. But because Bermuda Triangle already has a straight up Heart Thump clone for the Loris deck, which is our main Stride deck, we got this instead. So it took more of a route of Belial Owl or Night Barking Gear Tabby, where it was more support for the deck as a whole than just support for one unit.
Makes sense.
Let's go ahead and check if Chouchou Field Overseer Plati has been revealed. I'm assuming this is some kind of Stride.
Probably is. It looks like
okay.
it.
We know it's a grade 4. Okay, we know it's a G Guardian. That's all we know.
So we will have another option for a G Guardian in this archetype, but
here's the thing. It doesn't particularly matter if your G Guard is Chouchou or not. So the other Bermuda G Guardians will work just fine.
Yeah. Doesn't really matter. But I would like to see what this one's effect would be. Or skill.
Now, real quick, I would like you to click on the set that this card is coming out in, Clan Booster 5 Prismatic Divas, so that we can try and skim through there, see if we find anything that catches our eye.
G Trial Deck 14 Debut of the Divas?
No. G Clan Booster 5 Prismatic Divas is the thing that the, what's it called? The, G Guardian we just talked about is coming from. The G Guardian we don't have all the skills for yet.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, let's see here. Prismatic Divas is a 60-card set. 53 of them are new, and 3 of them are reprints. Jeez.
3 special reprints.
One of them is Duo Absolute Sister Mir. One of them is Dreaming Step Shizuku. And the other is a certain special card. A certain very special Bermuda Triangle card. Wait, never mind. This is the grade 3 Olivia, not the good one. Actually, this one might be pretty all right. Let's read it. Okay, it's one of those Strider units where it only goes off with a very specific stride that costs you $30 a pop.
Aw.
During your turn, this unit gets plus 5,000 power for each face-up School Étoile Olivia in your G zone. During your turn, when your G unit named School Étoile Olivia strides, reveal 7 cards from the top of your deck. If all the revealed cards with this effect have different names, choose up to 2 cards from among them and call them to separate rearguard circles. Choose a card from your hand and put it into your soul. Shuffle your deck. That is a pretty bad skill.
It is pretty bad.
There is no way all 7 of the cards will have different names if you're playing an actually consistent deck by any means. But the cool thing about this clan booster is that it supports basically every Bermuda subclan.
Yep. For the most part. Chouchou, Pacifica, Loris, Riviere? Reindeer, Coral, and Duo.
Oh no, this year's SPs feature swimsuits. As per Bushiroad's 10-year anniversary campaign, it includes one rubber mat per full carton of the set purchase. So basically, if you buy a pack of several boxes of the set, you get a rubber mat as well.
I do need a mat, but it probably won't be from this. Because my finances are not very good right now.
So, just skimming through, it looks like a pretty good set.
It does.
Wait, what? They said there were only 3 reprints. Every single Riviere card is in this set.
That's a reprint. That's more reprints.
There is only one new Riviere unit, and it's a Stride. Let's check something real fast. I'm just going to Control F for Olivia. Yeah, there is no reprint of School Étoile Olivia confirmed for this set, so you will still need either the $60 Legs SP original. I don't know how to describe the first wave because it's just Legs SP. I know, I can describe the second wave as Wedding SPs, and this one is Swimsuit SPs. But the first one was just legs. They have legs.
Olivia with legs. No mermaid tail.
Oh, the legs. Here's $60.
How can you call it a mermaid if it has legs?
Or no. What am I talking about original Olivia being 60? It's 200. Oh, there is an in-lore explanation, but it's just a dumb excuse to give them legs and have swimsuit SPs.
Yes, pretty much. There's a lot of should I say
we all know what you mean to say.
Yes. Still. I don't know where to describe it.
Oh yeah. Also, they reprinted all the Coral cards. Celebrate Voice Loris. I'm gonna see if I can remember what the Stride Fodder's called, so I can like run a price check for you on that later.
Thank you.
But for now, this has been Stand Up Podcast, and may you enjoy your swimsuit mermaids, I guess. See you all next week.